My mum had always said to me, it was something that always lasted with me. She said, when you're with a fire, you feel like you've got company, even if you're alone. It's like, it's a living thing, right? That's with you. It sort of feels spiritual. Fire has done so much, right? Cooking, keeping warm, all this stuff over years of evolution. And there's like something that's like incredibly true about connecting with that helps you to let go of the noise of life, right? It's so primal. For me, I can light a fire in the garden and like all the noise and all the bullshit leaves. We were the new kids on the block. We were in competition with fourth generation families that were hand building Neapolitan ovens for hundreds of years. Some British kid going to lean into making commercial Neapolitan style pizza ovens. I'm like, if this is gonna work, we've got to build the best ovens on the market. A pizza essentially cooks from the bottom up and the top down. So you hit it on the stone floor of an oven, the porosity in the stone will absorb the moisture out the dough and suck it into the floor of the oven. And also it changes the water in the dough and turns it to vapor so the dough rises, whilst the overarching flame on the top of the oven cooks it from the top down. We used essentially like space age grade insulation for the ovens, and so they took a really long time to heat up, but once they got hot, they stayed hot for like 4 days. So our fuel consumption for the commercial ovens was 25% of the competitors. Delivering continuity for commercial customers is what makes a professional oven brilliant, right? Like that reliability and continuity. So a commercial oven is made up of like multiple components: core, insulation, jacket around that holding it all in. We sort of designed a very unique modular system, interlocking segments. You can essentially put the entire engine of the oven together in like 20 minutes, like a jigsaw puzzle. The insulation and forming the shape was the most laborious part of installing an oven. We created the perfect shape in CAD, flattened down that shape and created a laser cut mesh system, just popped them together to build that entire shape in like 30 minutes. So we went from a 10-day install with that piece of innovation down to a 1-day install with Gozney. And so all of a sudden we were able to offer the most efficient oven on the market. We could go upstairs, downstairs, and we could install an oven super quickly. And I'd sort of had a vision for us growing the business on a global level, develop a product that worked exactly the same way as a larger stone oven that came in a box that weighed less than 25 kilograms that we could ship anywhere in Europe. And that was really where like the idea was formed for developing Roccbox. Typically when I ideate any products, it's like a moment. I generally spend a lot of time like sketching, or I'll always have a notepad. I always share this emoji with Patrick, our head engineer. I'll just send him a light bulb. It's the sign that some magic happened, right? The idea landed for me to bolt in a cartridge style burner under the product and have it elevated on portable legs, and that was what made the product possible. Deciding that the heat source would sit outside of the product and be bolted on the underside, either a wood burner or B, a propane gas burner on it. So that was like a big moment for me in the ideation of Roccbox. Roccbox's core objective was to make it accessible, so it had to weigh a certain weight, so we didn't have the luxury of thermal mass. When you use gas, gas naturally combusts with a shorter flame, blue flame, and a slightly yellow tip. We had to really innovate in the way that we mixed oxygen with the gas through a Venturi tube in the bottom of the burner to make it mix differently and produce a different kind of flame, which is really unique to Gozney. A large rolling yellow flame that arches over the internal body of the oven. It basically pushes heat down into the stone floor through a baffle plate that's developed in the back of the product, complements a space that's already up to temperature. So you can place a pizza into the oven, it won't burn instantly, it will rise perfectly because there's proper continuity in the heat distribution of the oven. The flame will blister the top of the pizza while the thick stone in Roccbox and the insulation below the stone retains the heat and cooks the pizza from the base up. We walk around collecting data, we walk around absorbing visuals from life, right? Albeit cars, fashion, clothes. I absorb stuff that life throws at me or puts in front of me, but I'm always relating that to our products. We had to make Roccbox look a certain way. It had to look friendly and approachable. It was like a rolled sheet metal with perforation in it originally. It felt too industrial and it felt too commercial. We'd taken our like commercial heritage of looking at commercial kitchens and scaled it down to Roccbox, but it was a full stainless steel product. I wanted Roccbox to feel like a family member, right? And I know that might sound odd, but you know, something with color, something that was tactile so you could touch it and that had a curved end to it that just essentially made it friendlier. Roccbox all of a sudden had personality. Whilst it may not look like it, it's a scaled down professional oven. You know, it fundamentally works in exactly the same way that a 2-ton, 8-foot diameter oven will work in a restaurant. It will produce a pizza just like in a professional pizzeria. We're really proud that our ovens are built to an exceptional quality. It's not a throwaway product. We build products exceptionally well so they last in gardens forever, so they don't end up in landfill. The way that we've developed products at Gozney is like ancient approach to cooking with like a modern disruptive way of approaching design, or fusing tech with nature. And it was like the Gozney dome. Simple curves, really beautiful lines, not overly complicated. Uncontrollable design element of like the rusticity of wood, but it's sat in like this minimalist, beautiful product that just evokes a feeling, right? I love people's reaction to our product. You look at it and you feel a certain way. You're like, that's so f***ing cool. Such a poignant moment when I built the first wood-fired oven, and it completely changed everything for me, right? It was such an impactful moment in my life, just building that singular product. And I think changing the way that the world cooks and the world thinks about cooking outdoors is fundamentally like the direct impact of what our products do. They allow people to have new experiences with cooking, but Gozney is so much more than that. It's truly about community, it's about self-discovery. It's this process that you can get lost in. It's like a proper journey that we're all on together, aren't we? Like, we've got one life, it goes quick. Like, coming to work, having hip hop on, we're not taking it too seriously. It's gonna be like good times and hard times, but we've just got to enjoy every day, or try to. Is that a wrap?
We're done. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.